the Mishnah. Boker or Masechet Nazir Daf Zayin Amud Aleph 16a1. Okay, says the new Mishnah. Misha Amar, somebody that comes and he says, Hareni Nazir. A person comes and he says that he is going to become a Nazir. Megaleach Yom 31. So when does he cut his hair and bring the korbanot? He's going to do it on the 31st day of his neder. V'imgilach Yom 30. If he did it on the 30th day of the Nazirut, Yatsa, he's going to be tzechova b'diavad. That means even though technically speaking he had to do 30 full days and then bring the korban next day, okay? But if a person did do it, so therefore it's going to be b'diavad. Okay. Hareni Nazir 30 yom. But if he comes and he says, I'm going to be a Nazir for 30 days, in Gilach Yom 30 lo yatsa. Meaning the first case was Stam Nazirut. He just said Hareni Nazir. When he comes and he says Hareni Nazir, Megaleach Yom 31. But if he's going to be Megaleach Yom 30, he's going to be Tzedachova. Here, if he said he's going to be Nazir for 30 days, so therefore you do need the full 30 days. And therefore, if he's going to do it on the 30th day, he's not going to be Tzedachova. Right? Why? Because he said Ade alai 30 yom shlemim. And therefore, right, it's going to become a problem. Misha Nazar shte Nazirot. Somebody that comes and he does 2 Nazirot means that he comes and he accepts upon himself 2 Nazirot stam, right? One after another. You take the haircut after the 31st day. And the second one, Yom 61, after the 61st day. If you did the first one on the 30th, which again, we just said in the previous part of the Mishnah, you're going to be Tzedachova b'diavad. So then you could do the second one on the 60th day, because that's going to be the 31st, right, of the second count. But if you did it 60 minus 1, you're going to be Tzedachova. Again, basically, the b'diavad is always on the 30th day. Lechatchila is always the 31st. Okay? One more time. Stam Nazirut. Stam Nazirut means Nazir. You didn't say 30 days. Nazir. Stam Nazirut is 30 days. So if you right now came and you took upon yourself Stam Nazirut, you have to take a haircut 31st. If you did on 30, you'd say the Chova b'diavad. Okay? Why? Because at the end of the day, you did do part of that day, even though it wasn't Shalem, right? That's why it's b'diavad, right? Because you have to do it Shalem. And then you brought Mitzat Yom Kekulo, and therefore that's b'diavad. If you did it, if you said for 30 days, that means you have 30 full days. So therefore, if you did it on the 30th day, you're not Yitzhak Chova. Okay? Now you have a problem. Now, the second case, though, was the same thing on 2 in a row. 2 in a row, 31, 61. If you did it on 30, so now you could do it on 60. Again, it's b'diavad, the 30, because you had to really wait till 31. But once you did the 30, now when you do the day 60, that's already 31 days later. So then that's going to be okay. But if you did it 1 day less, which is 59, it's going to be Tzedachova, again, b'diavad, because again, it's going to be 30 days, but not complete. This was a testimony that Rabbi Papias came and he testified in Kerem Yavne. Al Misha Nazar shte Nazirut shingilach et rishonan yom 30, megalech shniya yom 60. That if you did the first haircut on the 30th day, so you could do the second one on the 60th day, the gilach yom 60 chaser echad. If you did 59, yatsa, you're going to be tzedachova shiyom shel 30 ole lo min haminyan, because the 30th day, right, of the neder, if he already came and he brought his korban, is going to be ole lo min haminyan, whether it's the first one or the second one. That means it comes out that the 30th day in itself is both sides. The 30th day is the 30 of the first one, but it's also the first of the second one. So if it's the first of the second one, right? So that day 30 is number 1, and then 31st is 2, right? That means the 1 is 2. You understand? Each one. So when you get to 60, that's really 31. Okay? That's what's coming out. Misha Amar, somebody that comes and he says, Hareni Nazir, he's going to become a Nazir. V'nitzma b'yom ha-30. He becomes tameh on the 30th day of the Nazirut, right? Before having time to bring the korbanot. Soter et hakol. He's coming and he's annulling everything. What does it mean that he's coming and he's annulling everything, right? It's going to be annulled because we don't say mitzat yom kekulo, only if somebody was going to be mashlim the ned and Nazirut to do with the giluach harosh ve korbanotov. But if he became tameh before bringing the korbanot, So therefore, he's a Nazir that became Tameh. Rabbi Eliezer says, Eno soter el shiva. You're only going to be soter the 7 days, which means that we're going to say Mitzat Yom Kikulo. And even though you became Tameh, right, before bringing the korbanot and everything, you only become Tameh, right, towards the end, meaning you finished Kilu, the Nizirut. You have to wait 7 days of Tumah. And after the 7 days of Tumah, then you come and you bring your how do you call this, your korbanot. Hareni Nazir Shoshim Yom. If a person comes and he says that he's going to become a Nazir for 30 days, and now he's Nitzma B'Yom HaShoshim, Soter at Kol. Here you are going to be Soter at everything, because the fact that you said that it's going to be for 30 days is complete. And if the 30 days, within the 30 days, you became Tameh, you have to start the entire count all over again. Okay? Hareni Nazir Mea Yom. If a person comes and he says he's going to become a Nazir for 100 days, Nitma Yom Mea, if he becomes Tameh for the 100th day, just like by 30, if he became on the Tameh on the 30th day, he becomes Tameh and he's Soter et Kol. So too, if he's going to be Nitma Yom Mea, he's going to be Soter et Kol. Rabbi Eliezer comes and he says, Eno Soter Ela Shloshim. You're only going to be Soter the 30 days. Well, that means according to him, we always go like how do you call it, the 30 days, like a small Nazir, right? Nitma Yom 101, if you became Tameh 101 on the 101th day, Soter Shoshim Yom, you're going to be Soter only 30 days. Rabbi Eliezer says, no, you're only going to be Soter Shiva Yamim, 7 days. Remember, whenever you say it's 7 days, it's only the 7 days of Tum'ah. After the 7 days of Tum'ah, you come and you bring your Korban, and that's it, and you're done. You're done your Nazirut. Okay? Says the Gemara. Mi shamar aneni Nazir, v'nitma Yom Shoshim. One more time. Somebody says he's going to become a Nazir. He became Tameh on the 30th day. Soter et Kol. He's going to destroy everything. Rabbi Eliezer says, no, you're only going to be Soter 7 days. Okay? Tetzayin Mubet. Kasava Rabbi Eliezer holds Kol leachar melot Shiv'a Soter. What does that mean? Anytime that you finished, leachar melot means after you finished your days, so you're only going to be Soter 7 days, not all the Nazirut. So it's actually something incredible. You have a person here that he's doing the 30 days of Nazirut. Right before bringing the Korban, he becomes Tameh. But the fact that he finished the day 30, right? So therefore, all you need is what? All you need is a new 7 for Tum'ah. But the 30 of Nazirut you already did. Meaning right now you have a technical issue. You can't bring a Korban. You're Tameh. So the fact that you're Tameh and you can't bring a Korban, so therefore what happens? So therefore what happens is that you have to wait the 7 days. After the 7 days, now you're able to come and you bring your Korban. There's no problem. Okay? Yes, Korban Nazirut. Hareni Nazir Shloshim Yom. If a person comes and he says he's going to become a Nazir for 30 days, Venitma Yom Shloshim, and he's going to become Tameh on the 30th day. Soter et Kol, he's going to destroy everything. Lo palig Rabbi Eliezer damar shelemin. So we didn't find that Rabbi Eliezer actually argues on Tanakama, because according to here, we're talking about where he said, Hareni Nazir Shloshim Yom Shlemim. That means if he said the word Shlemim, ledivrei hakol, we do not say Mitzat Hayom Kikulo. Because if you say Shalem, you cannot say Mitzat Hayom. Mitzat Hayom means part of the day is considered the entire day. But if you say 30 full days, so I can't say part of the day is the full day, it's nothing. And same halacha now is the 2 dots. With an Nazir Mea Yom, v'nitma b'yom mea. If a person comes and he says that he's going to become Tameh for he's going to become a Nazir, for 100 days, and then he became Tameh on the 100th day, Soter et Kol. You're only going to be Soter 30 days. The Kula Kedavin and Ba'aliba Dvarpad of Rav Matan, and everything is just like we mentioned above on Hei Amud Bet and Vav Amud Bet, Hei Amud Bet and Vav Amud Bet until there to do with Barpada and Rav Matna, which means that all of our Mishnah is going to be explained except exactly like we learned over there. That basically there's no difference between Barpada and Bar Matna, right? So therefore we didn't have to bring it again. That means we would go back there to Sugya and to learn it up. Okay? Says a Mishnah. Mishnah on Tetzayin Mubet 16b. Okay? Nish Nazar vehu bevet akvarot. Imagine a person accepts upon himself Nazirut, and right now he's in the Bet Akvarot. Now, you're not allowed to become a Nazir, right? If you're a Nazir, you can't be in the Bet Akvarot. Now, you're in the Bet Akvarot and you're accepting upon yourself Nazirut. So, afilu hayasham shoshim yom. Even if you're going to stay in the Bet HaKvarot for 30 days, right? Which that's like kilu the amount of time. Eno lilo mina minyan, veno mevi korban tumah. What does that mean? These days are not considered part of the days, and therefore he does not bring a korban tum'ah, which means that it's not going to be Torah Nazir that he became tameh. So therefore, when he becomes tahor, okay, it's only that somebody that already was chal the nazirut b'tahara, and then he became tameh. Here, he was always tameh. He never became tahor. He never started the process properly. So therefore, yatsa, once he once he goes out of the Bet HaKvarot, okay, then he chnas, and then he goes back inside. Now it's going to be even the 7 days is going to be olin lo minyan, and it's going to be chal the nazirut utara, and therefore when he comes again tameh, so therefore it's like a nazir shenitma when he was nazir, okay, and therefore he's going to be chayav a korban and tiglachat of tum'ah because he became tameh. Rabbi Eliezer says lo bayom. No, you can't go back in the same day. Meaning that's only if he came into the cemetery the next day. If he just left the cemetery for a few minutes and came back on the same day, it's nothing. What does it mean yipelu? Yipelu means he needs a day that he did part of the Nazirut. Meaning the fact that he was in the Bet HaKvarot, he accepted upon himself Nazirut. He left the Bet HaKvarot and he came back, but he didn't even have 1 day of pure Nazirut, so therefore it's nothing. It has to be Hayamim Anishonim Yiplu means that there was at least 1 day of Nazirut without being in the cemetery. Okay? Fine. Says the Gemara, Itmar, it was stated, somebody that comes and he makes a Nazirut, and he's in the Bet HaKvarot. Rabbi Yochanan says Nazirut Chalalav, that he's going to become Chal, the Nazirut, and therefore he's not allowed to drink wine or to Tiglacha, to Tumah, and therefore every moment that he's there, he's being over an Isur. Okay? Why? Because it's Chal, the Nazirut. The Shakish says, En Nazirut Chalala. It's not Chal at all. Right? Why? So he's allowed in everything until he accepts upon himself again when he leaves the Bet HaKvarot. Okay, so now let's explain the reasons. Rabbi Yochanan says Nazirut Chalala, Savar Mitla Talya V'Kaima. Right? Rabbi Yochanan comes and he says it's Tuluya Ve'omed. What is the explanation Tuluya Ve'omed? The second that he's going to be seeing a time of tahara, it's going to be chal, meaning that there does exist a concept of Rabbi Yochanan standby. What's standby? Standby is like no man's land, meaning, right? You have a case that right now he accepted upon himself Nazirut. He's waiting, right? The second that right now he's out and now he's pure, right? So now all of a sudden is chal, the Nazirut. So he's in a standing mode. And therefore it's going to be chal. The Shakish says, En Nazirut Chalala, it's not going to be chal. Why? If he accepted upon himself again, then chaylala, then it's going to be chal. Vilolo, and if not, it's not going to be chal. Why? Because he doesn't hold that it's on standby. He holds it right now. You're in the Bet HaKvarot, right? It doesn't help the Nazirut. So therefore it's not going to help. Right? It's like, it was a bypass. Right? That it doesn't chal. So Eitvei Rabbi Yochanan Shakish. Ask Rabbi Yochanan to Reshakish, even if he's going to be there for 30 days, and only he's not going to be korban tumah, he's not going to be korban tumah, he's not going to be korban tumah, but it was going to be chal, meaning he just has a separate mitzvah that he cannot bring a korban tumah, but there was Nazirut which was chal on him. So Elmaleh, he says, no, not only is that there's no korban tumah, there's nothing, there's no Torah korban or tumah, there's nothing, it's not chal at all. So fine. So that's how Resh Shakish answered Rabbi Yochanan. Next question. Eitvei, we're going to ask another question on Resh Shakish. Misha yat tameh v'nazar. Imagine a person's tameh lemet, and then he becomes a nazir. Asur legaleach, he's not allowed to cut his hair. Right? Or to drink wine. Or to be mitameh mitem. V'im gilach b'shta yamim, if he did these 3 things. He cut his hair, he drank wine, and was mitameh mitim. He's going to get lashes, 40 lashes. I'm only going to say that's going to be good if it's going to be chal. Hainutama, that's why he gets lashes. But if you're going to tell me that it's not chal the Nazirut, why is he going to get lashes? At the end of the day, if he's not a Nazir, why in the world would he get lashes? This is a beautiful question against the Shakish. Why in the world would you come and you give this guy lashes if he's not a Nazir? He said it at the time that he was already tameh, right? He was tameh met, right? If he's tameh met, it's not going to be chal, according to the Shakish. So answers the Gemara, Yud Zayin Amud Aleph on the top. Hacha ma'askina, what are we dealing with? Biyotze v'nichnas. You went out, right? You went out of the tumah, which means that you were sprinkled on the third and seventh day, and you did tevilah and everything, and then you accepted upon yourself nazirut mefurash, v'nichnas, and then you came back inside. Once you come back inside, it's going to be again a different halacha, and therefore that's what we said over here, that it's going to be that you're going to become chayav even according to shitat Resh Lakish. And then we continue asking more questions on Resh Lakish. Wonderful day, everyone.